Dear friends, welcome to the podcast Pax Europiana, and here I call for Israel to join NATO. This is the most important way and the only way for peace, for Israel and for Europe, together of course with Ukraine. Ukraine and Israel must join a kind of pre-accession alliance in order to defeat our enemies, which are very clearly defined at Russia, Iran and the kind of terrorist organizations which they back, like Hamas. And it's absolutely unhelpful and must be rejected to recognize Palestine at this stage. So I reject this because it's not helpful for nobody. Yeah? It's much better to secure Israel by NATO membership and of course by EU perspective, which we gave already to Ukraine. It will be within this decade in the European Union, and Israel should also get a clear EU perspective and adopt the euro as of course a part of an armistice agreement and the end of hostilities. And this is the way for peace, and this is what I call here, and that's why I make this campaign. Israel join NATO, Ukraine join NATO, and let's build a strong alliance of all the free world, Ukraine and Israel obviously included, against our enemies, Russia, Iran and their backers in China and in India. This is the logic, this is what I call, that's why I've printed the Israeli NATO button, and I call for exactly that. The details of how this can work, and it will definitely work. Palestine can be a region within Israel and Gaza ultimately as well, after there was the destruction of Hamas obviously. But this is the way we can do it. And we have done it between France and between Germany. We're doing it in the Balkans. We have the institutions, the Euro, NATO, the EU, the OECD, the OSCE, to overcome conflicts and wars and long-lasting antagonism. But we have to be willing to deploy it, of course, as well to the Balkans, of course in Eastern Europe, of course in that part of the Middle East, which is basically very European. So Israel in Europe will be not a big change, and we can definitely secure Israel. We have just to want it. We don't have to kind of just give oral declaration, two-state solution, nobody does anything, or security of Israel is our absolute determining state policy, and we don't do anything when there is. That's too little, that's not good enough for Europe. And that's why I have made this proposal. I stand to it. It's the absolute right way to do it. Israel in NATO, and Ukraine in NATO, and of course Austria, by the way. And thanks for interviewing me recently. And I will share all these podcasts and the interviews. And I will be very grateful for your support, for your likes, and for, most important, for getting things done. Because speaking and recognizing without any, I really get angry with that one. Decades of not doing really significant things and then complaining when other people settle things. I really endorse Israel, and I stand with Israel. I want to make that very clear. That's why I have also this Israeli flag here, together with the NATO and the European flag. This is the future. This is what we have to achieve, and let's get it done. Israel, you're very welcome. Join NATO and EU, and of course, as part of the membership process, there must be peace in Israel, and the Palestinians must be equal citizens of Israel, and that's logically the consequence out of that, and we have peace like that. Thanks a lot. You're very welcome for Pax Europiana. Bye.